Hey guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. So a lot of you guys reach out to me and you say, Sean, you don't do enough videos on the modern era sports card market. You don't even do enough videos on the vintage sports card market. What's going on? Why aren't you covering this market? It is one of the hottest markets in the trade right now, whether we're talking about baseball cards, hockey cards, basketball cards, whatever it is. These markets are on fire. Why isn't Sean with Reserved Investments talking more about what's happening in modern era sports cards? Well, the reason for that, guys, is first, I do follow these markets. I do an excellent job keeping up with all the trends. I do understand what's happening in these markets. And I always tell you guys, this market, especially the market for modern era sports cards right now, is extremely speculative. It is almost in what I consider to be a speculative bubble or even a speculative euphoria. I know a lot of people out there, they don't like when I use the term bubble because really we don't know if this market is in a bubble. But eventually we can all agree it's going to most likely either pop or it's going to calm down. It's not going to be at the height that it's in today in the year 2021. You know, if we look at the factors that attribute it to how we got here with a lot of these modern era sports cards selling for significant sums, really we can contribute some of it to what happened with the pandemic. When you had all these collectors who love these particular items, they love the players, they love the game, they love the cards, they were stuck indoors and the government was throwing free money at them. Well, naturally, there's going to be a rise in some of the prices for some of these asset classes, whether we're talking not just modern era sports cards, vintage sports cards, Pokemon cards, video games, Magic the Gathering, comic books, toys, pop culture, even rare coins. All these markets at present time are on fire. Now, some are cooling at different rates than others as a result of the fact that pretty much most of the industrialized world is now being vaccinated against the virus, and pretty much things are starting to open up again. I know there's certain places you can go, even in the great state of Pennsylvania, where you don't have to wear a mask anymore. As a matter of fact, if you do put on a mask and you go in some of those areas, they look at you like you're going to rob the place. So we're almost back to pre-pandemic levels. I've said this before. The pandemic will eventually dissipate and people will forget about this and they'll go along their lives like it never happened. We are almost getting back to ground zero, to the point where no one's going to be concerned about the virus unless if there is an uptick, a substantial uptick in cases going forward, or a new variant of the virus materializes and people start to get sick and we end up back at our starting point again, where they have to create a whole new vaccine. That would be dramatic, and that would have a massive negative effect on the economy and the population by and large. But overall, we're not in that circumstance right now. So when we analyze these markets, we have to look at them from the perspective where, okay, we've already seen the highs for a lot of these collectibles. Whether we're looking at Pokemon, whether we're looking at modern era Magic the Gathering, sports cards, comic books, whatever it is. In most cases, a lot of these markets are now going to start to stabilize with few exceptions. There's always going to be that top 1 to 5% of the market that goes bonkers. Now, why am I doing this video? Well, Harry Rinker just wrote an excellent article on modern era sports cards and the frenzy surrounding factory sealed products at present time. It is entitled Deja Vu All Over Again. Now, this is a fairly long article. I am not going to read it on this channel. What I am going to do is I am going to put a link to this article in the description below. And for you guys wanting to learn more of both my assessment and also what would be Harry Rinker's assessment as to how a lot of us think this is really reminiscent of what happened during the junk wax era of the 1980s and the 1990s. And I know some of you disagree with me when I say that. I just want to give you Harry Rinker's point of view because he did an excellent analysis here. In fact, I was actually going to write an article for Antiques and Auction News on this same subject matter. And after reading his excellent article, I've actually pulled back and I actually changed the topic that I'm going to write about for this very reason. Because I think he covers all the talking points perfectly. He even talks about Beanie Babies, but mainly this article looks at the 80s and 90s speculative craze of a lot of these wonderful factory sealed sports cards and collectibles that came out of that era. So again, all you got to do is go in the video description, click the link. It'll take you to harryrinker.com, and you can read his article entitled Deja Vu All Over Again. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a great night. If you do take the time to read this article, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks, guys.